Welcome, learners. Have you ever found yourself drawn to the incredible visual world of graphic design, but felt completely uh, daunted by the complex software behind it?
Yeah, it can look pretty intimidating at first glance.
Exactly. So today we're cutting through that noise. We're taking a deep dive into Adobe Illustrator CC, the foundational power tool for vector art. You've generously shared your source material with us, and our mission now is to extract those vital nuggets of knowledge, giving you a real shortcut to being well-informed and, ready to create.
What's truly powerful about Illustrator isn't just that it lets you draw. It fundamentally changes how you create art. I mean, we're talking about scalable, editable artwork.
Scalable, right. That's the
Yeah.
key with vector.
Precisely. From intricate logos to vast illustrations that adapts flawlessly to any output, whether it's a tiny app icon or a huge billboard.
Yeah.
It's all about precision, flexibility, and just unlocking creative possibilities. We'll explore how to harness this, focusing on the core functions that genuinely empower you.
Okay, let's unpack this and get you building your design superpowers. Navigating your creative command center. Interface and documents. Right, so we're starting by getting you comfortable in Illustrator's environment. Think of it as learning the controls of your creative starship before you launch.
Yeah, getting familiar with the layout is job one. Navigating the main interface elements efficiently is crucial for a smooth workflow. You'll notice the application bar up top, giving you quick access to other Adobe apps and help. Pretty standard stuff. But then there's the control panel, which is fascinating because it's context sensitive.
So it changes depending on what you're doing.
Exactly. It dynamically shifts to show only the most relevant options for your current tool or selection. Really cuts down on menu diving. Yeah. But of course, the tools panel on the side, your primary palette of instruments, you can even customize that or tear off sections for specific tasks to streamline your workflow.
Okay, so we've got the main bars covered. But where does the real power for customizing your creative process lie? I'm guessing the panels.
You got it. The panels. These aren't just collections of options. They're your customizable hubs for modifying object attributes, like dedicated control centers.
Right. So we're talking about things like the color panel for fills and strokes, the swatches panel for quick color application, and that includes gradients and patterns too, right?
Yes, absolutely. Super useful.
Yeah.
Then you have the stroke panel for detailed line attributes like weight and caps.
And the appearance panel. Now, I hear this one is really central.
Oh, it absolutely is. The appearance panel is key because it lets you stack multiple fills, strokes, and effects on a single object.
Multiple on one object.
Yep. It offers amazing complexity and creative freedom without forcing you to create extra shapes or duplicate layers. It's non-destructive.
Wow. Okay. And then the transform panel for precise adjustments, size, position, rotation, that sort of thing.
Exactly. All your basic transformations in one place.
So, with all these panels available, how do you manage them without feeling completely overwhelmed?
Good question. Illustrator offers Workspaces. These are predefined panel layouts. You've probably seen things like Essentials, Painting, or Web.
Right, the presets.
But the real efficiency gain comes from creating your custom workspaces. This lets you save your preferred panel arrangements for repeated use. It makes your work significantly more streamlined, tailored to how you design. It's about making the software adapt to your process, not the other way around.
Makes sense. Adapt the tool to the task. Once you've got your custom command center set up, it's time to actually make something. So we need to create a new document and talk about artboards.
Yes, artboards. Think of them as your live areas, the digital canvases where your artwork actually outputs. You can have multiple artboards in a single document, which is great for projects with different components like a logo set or web page mockups.
And you can add, duplicate, or delete them easily.
Yep. And resize them precisely using those incredibly helpful smart guides that snap everything into place.
Love smart guides. Okay, and then the crucial step, saving a document.
Can't forget that. Save often. Especially with PDF compatibility enabled, that means other applications can often open and preview your Illustrator files even if they don't have Illustrator installed. It's good practice.
Definitely. So just to zoom out for a second, really knowing how to navigate the Illustrator interface, efficiently managing multiple windows, zooming precisely, panning around, that directly impacts your productivity. Right?
Absolutely. It's not just about knowing what a tool is, but how fluidly you can move through your creative space. Minimizing friction in your workflow is key. 2, building blocks of design. Shapes, transformations, and logos.
Okay, command center understood. Let's talk about the raw materials of design. Illustrator's magic truly begins with vector shapes, Which means, as you said, your art can scale to literally any size without ever losing quality or getting pixelated. We'll start with the most fundamental building blocks.
Right. You'll begin by creating basic geometric shapes. Your circles, squares, polygons, stars, the usual suspects. But Illustrator quickly lets you move far beyond those simple forms. You can reshape a corner using the Live Corners feature.
Ah, the little dots inside the corner.
Exactly. Allows you to instantly round off or chamfer sharp corners just by dragging. Super intuitive. Or you can move a corner with the Direct Selection tool to create custom shapes from standard ones. You can even remove points to transform, say, a rectangle into a triangle.
Okay, so you've got a shape. Now you want to make it pop with fill, stroke, and color.
Yep. Applying vibrant colors, smooth gradients, intricate patterns to the interior, the fill, and the edge, the stroke.
And what about that Recolor artwork feature? Sounds useful for experimenting.
Oh, it's fantastic. It lets you quickly shift entire color schemes in seconds. Great for exploring different moods or matching brand palettes.
Nice. Now, the flexibility of vector art really shines when reshaping objects, doesn't it? This goes beyond just basic shapes.
Absolutely. Illustrator paths consist of segments connected by anchor points. These can be smooth for curves or corner points for sharp angles, and they're controlled by direction handles. Understanding how to manipulate these handles is the secret to sculpting organic, flowing curves or sharp, precise angles.
So you use the direct selection tool, the white arrow, for that.
Exactly. You use the Direct Selection tool to pick and modify individual points or segments, fundamentally altering a shape's form. This lets you move beyond basic geometric forms to draw complex things, like a detailed face or unique hair strands, often starting just by reshaping simple ovals.
And you mentioned layers earlier. We should probably touch on the layers panel here for organizing these objects.
Good point. Yeah, the Layers panel is crucial for organization, especially as designs get complex. You can move objects to new layers, reorder them, lock them, hide them. Essential stuff.
Okay, this is where the magic really starts for real-world application, like how you'd create a logo.
Logos need precision.
So we're talking about precise alignment of objects, using things like ruler guides and those smart guides again.
Definitely. Getting everything snapped perfectly into place gives designs that professional, polished look. No guesswork.
And the sheet builder tool. I hear this one's a game changer.
It really is. It lets you intuitively unite or remove overlapping areas of shapes with just a simple drag or alt-click. It makes complex path operations feel almost effortless. Much easier than the older Pathfinder panel for simple stuff.
Sounds powerful. You can even stack an object behind others easily using the layers panel, right? Like adding a border or background to a logo.
Precisely. Complete control over the stacking order is fundamental. Adding a background element to your yin-yang logo, for example, is super simple that way.
Okay, so we've mastered individual shapes. But how do you combine them or transform them to create something really intricate?
Right, that leads us to complexity via combination and effects. You'll learn to reshape via transformation tools, like tapering objects to give them a dynamic feel. And then you master the Pathfinder options, things like unite, minus front, intersect, exclude, divide. These let you combine or cut shapes in really powerful, specific ways.
Pathfinder can seem a bit daunting at first, though.
It can, but once you understand the main ones, it's incredibly useful. You can even create compound paths, which combine shapes visually, but let you go back and edit the original parts non-destructively. Huge flexibility there.
Non-destructive is always good. And you can also apply effects.
Yes. Things like drop shadows, glows, warps. These are non-destructive visual changes. You can edit them, remove them, tweak them anytime without permanently altering the underlying object.
That encourages experimentation, doesn't it?
Absolutely. You can try things out without fear. And these effects can even be saved as graphic styles for quick reuse across multiple objects, which is a massive time saver. 3, adding finesse. Artistic tools and professional output.
All right, let's explore how Illustrator helps you add those artistic flourishes, move beyond clean lines into more expressive territory, and get work ready for the real world.
Okay, so to achieve a more hand-drawn look applied to shapes, you can start by, say, creating spirals, or apply distortion tools, things like warp, twirl, pucker, bloat.
Those sound fun.
They are. They give vector objects a more organic, less rigidly digital feel. And the width tool is brilliant for variable line widths.
How does that work?
It lets you manually adjust the thickness of a stroke at different points along its path. Adds that naturalistic flair like varying pen pressure.
Nice. And basic organization grouping objects.
Crucial. Grouping lets you treat multiple elements as a single unit for moving, scaling, etc. And selection commands like select same are huge time savers.
How so?
Let's say you want to change all objects with the same fill color. Select one, go to Select Same Fill Color, and boom, they're all selected for mass editing. Super efficient.
Okay, that does sound handy. Now, for designers dealing with complex illustrations, lots of intersecting lines, coloring can be tedious, right?
It definitely can be. But Illustrator has a dynamic solution, Live Paint.
Live paint? How's that different?
It basically treats intersecting paths as distinct regions, or faces. You use the Live Paint Bucket tool to just click and fill these faces, like a digital coloring book, but way more powerful.
Even if the lines aren't perfectly closed?
Yeah, it has gap detection options. You can even add new paths to a Live Paint group and apply color directly to edges, not just fills. It's incredibly flexible for complex line work.
Interesting. And what about cutting things up or adding smooth color transitions?
Well, you could use tools like the knife tool for cutting objects to slice shapes freely, and applying stunning gradient fills is easy for both fills and strokes.
Gradients on strokes, too?
Yep. And you can customize your own gradients, save them as swatches. There's a lot of control there.
Okay. What about creating blends? That sounds intriguing.
Blends are unique. They create a multi-step progression of color and shape between two distinct objects.
So not just color, but the shape morphs, too.
Exactly. It's perfect for complex shading, creating a sense of volume in flat designs, or just generating smooth, interesting transitions.
And symbols, what's the benefit there?
Efficiency and file size. Symbols are reusable graphics. You create one master symbol, then you can place multiple instances of it. If you edit the master symbol, all instances update automatically. And it keeps file sizes much smaller than duplicating the same complex object over and over.
Useful for repeating elements like icons or logos.
Definitely. You can use built-in symbol libraries, place single symbols or sets, replace them globally, and create your own libraries. Plus, the specific symbolism tools like Shifter, Scruncher, Sizer allow quick, non-destructive modifications to sets of symbols, like randomizing their size or position slightly, without editing each one.
Right, for a more organic feel. Now, for actual drawing, the pen and pencil tools. The pen tool has a bit of a reputation, doesn't it?
Yes. It's famously powerful, but can have a steep learning curve. It's for creating very precise, straight, and curved paths. Using anchor points and handles, you get incredible control.
And you can convert points, add, remove, cut, join paths.
All of that. It's the gold standard for precise vector drawing. You can even use it to manually trace a raster image, turning a sketch or photo into clean vector lines.
And the pencil tool.
The pencil tool offers a more freehand sketching approach. It's more intuitive for drawing flowing lines quickly, almost like drawing on paper, and you can adjust its smoothing settings.
Okay. What about adding texture or different line styles? So that would be brushes, right?
Exactly. Illustrator has various brush categories: art, pattern, scatter, calligraphic.
Okay.
You apply them to paths or strokes.
So you can make a line look like a brush stroke or repeat a pattern along a path?
Precisely. You can apply them, edit them extensively, and even create a custom brush from your own artwork. Turn anything into a brush.
And the blob brush? How's that different?
The blob brush is interesting. It draws filled shapes directly, not strokes. As you draw, overlapping areas merge together into one single shape. It feels more like painting.
Gotcha. And what about words? Type in Illustrator must be pretty robust.
Oh, incredibly powerful. You can create point type for headlines or single lines of text.
And style point type with lots of controls.
Absolutely. Font, size, leading, tracking the overall spacing, and kerning the space between specific letter pairs. All finely controllable. You can even apply effects to type non-destructively.
What about paragraphs?
That's area type. You control text flow and text rectangles. You can thread overflowing text into link boxes across your design and wrap text around art objects dynamically.
And putting text on curves?
Yep, you can place type on a path, like along a circle or a wave, or create area type within any closed shape. And for ultimate manipulation, create outline type converts text into editable vector shapes.
Wow, okay, lots of tab control. Moving into advanced drawing, what about using photos or other images?
You can place bitmap images. Crucially, you need to understand the difference between embedding them, making them part of the Illustrator file, and linking them, keeping them as external references.
Why does that matter?
Linking keeps file sizes smaller and makes updates easier if the original image changes. Embedding makes the file self-contained but larger. You need to manage linked images properly.
Okay. And clipping masks?
Super useful. A clipping mask uses one shape to mask or crop other objects below it. non-destructively, like looking through a window shaped like the top object.
And image trace. Is that for turning photos into vectors automatically?
Basically, yes. It converts raster images into editable vector paths. It's a lifesaver for digitizing logos or simple illustrations quickly, though results vary depending on the complexity and settings.
And Illustrator does 3D, or perspective.
It has tools for faux 3D, like extrude and bevel, and distortion tools like shear and envelope distort. Plus, there's a dedicated perspective grid feature for drawing objects along defined vanishing points, creating convincing dimensional scenes.
Okay, almost there. Finally, output. Getting the artwork ready for the world.
Right, this is crucial. You need to know how to prepare artwork for print output. Understanding things like CMYK color mode versus RGB, spot colors for special inks, and using separations preview to check how colors will print.
And for screens.
Then you prepare artwork for web output. This involves things like aligning art to the pixel grid for sharpness, using the pixel preview mode, and choosing the right color modes and export settings.
Speaking of exporting,
You'll learn to export artwork in various formats. SVG is great for web vectors, and knowing how to place as a smart object in Photoshop or use Creative Cloud libraries ensures seamless workflow across different Adobe apps.
linking everything together makes sense. 4K. Beyond the software, the design mindset. Okay, so knowing the tools inside Illustrator is one massive piece of the puzzle, but truly mastering design for real-world projects means understanding the context, right? The clients, the audience, the outsiders.
Exactly. It's about thinking beyond the canvas. This delves into who you're talking for and who you're talking to. It's absolutely crucial to identify your client's needs and project goals. They're the ones paying, they're who you're ultimately designing for.
And equally important is understanding the target audience.
Definitely. Who are you trying to reach with this design? Often it helps to visualize them, maybe as an ideal Ivan or Danielle demographic. Designing without knowing these two things is like, well, shooting in the dark.
Yeah, makes sense. Now, a really key practical area, copyrights and longs. This can trip people up.
For sure. The fascinating part is that copyright basically just happens. The moment something creative is fixed in a tangible form, written down, recorded, drawn.
You don't technically need to register it for basic protection.
Not for the copyright to exist, no. But registration provides much stronger legal proof and options if you need to enforce it.
And those copyright notices, the little E symbol.
They serve as a clear warning, a reminder of ownership. And don't forget, metadata, hidden information within digital files that can track ownership details. It can be surprisingly useful.
Okay, so how can you use material legally, especially stuff you didn't create yourself?
Right. This brings up fair use. It's a complex legal doctrine, not a simple rule, but it involves considering 4 factors.
Okay, what are they?
1. The purpose and character of the use. Is it for education, parody, commentary, or just commercial? 2. The nature of the copyrighted work. Is it factual or highly creative? 3. The amount used, a small snippet or the heart of the work. And 4. The effect on the original work's market value. Does your use harm their sales?
So it's a balancing act.
Exactly, and very context dependent. Beyond fair use, you look at licensing, things like public domain material where copyright doesn't apply anymore, or stock photos where you buy specific usage rights. And Creative Commons licenses are huge now, offering various levels of permission like requiring attribution, BOI, sharing adaptations under the same license as SA, prohibiting derivatives, ND, or restricting commercial use, NC.
You really need to check the specific license.
Absolutely. And don't forget model releases. If you're using photos of identifiable people for commercial purposes, you need their explicit permission.
Got it. So finally, let's talk about thinking strategically about the whole process. Think like a boss applying project management.
Yeah, it's just a fundamental problem-solving process. You can break it down into 3 simple steps. Learn, think, and do.
Okay, learn.
The learn phase means truly understanding the problem. Ask good questions. What's the purpose? Who's the audience? What are the constraints? Budget, time? What are the client's preferences? What resources are available? Then do your research and investigation.
Okay, then think.
Think involves brainstorming ideas freely without judgment first. Get lots of options out there. Then you pick and plan your chosen solution. This includes setting clear project requirements, defining the scope, exactly what work is included, and setting realistic deadlines.
And defining that scope clearly helps avoid project creep, right?
Hugely important. Project creep. Those unplanned changes or additions that expand the work beyond the original agreement can kill profitability and timelines. A clearly stated scope, agreed upon in writing, is your best defense.
Makes sense. And the final step, do.
Do is about building it, actually creating the design. But crucially, maintain a continuous feedback loop. Show iterative work, share progress as you go. Don't just disappear until the deadline.
Get feedback early and often.
Exactly. And finally, testing and evaluating. Does it meet the requirements? Does it solve the client's problem? Does it meet their expectations? Outro.
Wow, okay. That was quite a journey through Illustrator. We went from just opening the application, navigating the interface.
Yeah, all the way to crafting intricate designs, combining shapes, using artistic tools.
And even thinking about the crucial business side, clients, copyright, project management.
Indeed. We've covered a lot, from manipulating basic shapes to complex logos, precise alignment to artistic distortions, managing files to understanding client communication and legal stuff like copyright. It really is a whole ecosystem.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? It means you should now have a much more robust mental framework, not just for operating Illustrator, but for approaching any creative project with more confidence and hopefully a well-informed strategy.
You're ready to move beyond just pushing pixels.
Really.
Remember, the tools are just the start. The real mastery comes from how you apply them, who you design for, and how you manage that whole creative process from the initial idea right through to delivery. Maybe think about which part of this deep dive excited you most. Was it the technical artistry of manipulating vectors?
Yeah.
Or perhaps the strategic problem-solving side of things?
Good question. How can you integrate both into your next creative project?
Yeah, something to chew on.
Thanks for diving deep with us today. Until next time, keep creating, keep exploring, and stay curious.